Early the next morning.
Morning guys, it's 20 past 7, 15 degrees and raining, nice and cool.
We are laughing.
Lovely fresh morning. Open the door, come to work, and it smells very green and luscious this morning. I'm not a Swindon boy, I wasn't born here. I was born up north, I'm from Sheffield. And we always used to go for walks up in the parks up in Sheffield. And it's kind of like a bit of a nostalgic childhood thing, that kind of smell. It does rain a lot up north, but yeah, you smell rain and sort of forestation growing. It takes me back, it's quite a nice smell. Woohoo! It's slippy this morning. Very slippy this morning. So today we've got the yellow camper. It's not having a touchscreen. It's having a kind of more basic Pioneer, like the LCD display with kind of push buttons. A DAB radio, Bluetooth, CD, USB, or still a good one. Fascia kit. And then whatever we've got left. Breaking for your penis, that's a green light. Might get time to give the chaser a wash today. I am thinking at some point I'm going to have to get the Lotus turbos sent away to Turbo Technics to get them to take them apart, clean them, go through the seals, put them back together. I did notice that although the intakes got washed, but they were passing a wee bit more oil than I'd like. So we're going to get those sent off, get them checked, get the seals checked. But also while I'm doing that, I'm kind of thinking I might send off the JZ turbo and get that like Frankenstein, like hybrid, because the last thing I want, that engine's so good, the last thing I want is the impeller disintegrating into the turbo. That would just be a shit thing to happen, and at the minute with my luck probably will. So I might pull the turbo off of it and then do, like, you know, send 3 away, get them all reworked at the same time. And then at some point I need to start digging into the Lotus, but I'm kind of putting it to the back of my mind for a second, concentrating and focusing on work, get the money coming in. Got rent coming up, got tax coming up, got national insurance to pay. So there's many a bills that need to come out my account soon, so work is the order of the day, not spend. I do love rain. Don't know why. Morning everybody. Still raining. So we're in with the T5 first thing. Let's get the stuff actually. Ooh. Right, we need an air compressor up my arse. One of them. Yeah. One of them. And we need a VW kit. Get the shopping. VW kit. Hi-ya. There we go. Right then.
No, God!
Oh my god! You okay? Fucking suction! Good job, these things are robust. Right. There we go. Can you see me? Yes. Right. Oh, DAB aerial microphone, first one's in. Bum, 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 bum. That's the aerial. Get the cleaning pad. So this already has some janky, this is an old Parrot kit, but as you can see, some clever sod just disconnected the thing, but it is actually still powered up, but they've just cut the ends off of it. Which would have been really good. Everything is still live. Clean a windscreen with an alcohol wipe. Little square or oblong, depending on how your vision is. And we also need a glass from the centre light. Get the grease and fingerprints off that side. Give it a dry. And then, most important, get yourself a rubbish bag going. Have shit all over the customer's vehicle. They don't need it, they don't need to see it. We've got our dab aerial. So we take off our first #1 piece, which gives us the 2 tab to hold on to. Needs to be close enough to the sides to catch an air, but you don't want it too close to the top that it meets the headliner or the metal. Give it a good push on. Take off #2. Put #2 in your rubbish bag. Keep tidy. Love the sound of rain. It's a nice change for not sweating on a really hot day. We've got a big job in tomorrow. Another T5. Hopefully the weather's as calm and cool tomorrow so I can crack on and not get too hot. One thing that you should have in your toolbox, which is a great utensil,
Now I have a lot of trim tools, you know this, but one thing you should use is a butter knife. Sounds really silly, right? You don't want a serrated edge so it doesn't mar anything, but the amount of torque you can put through these without it bending, and obviously if you use your finger and what I did is I put a tooth in the top of mine so I can get this sharp edge into tiny places, but you can't get some torque with these things, and they're lovely and thin that you don't have to, you know, for getting in the dash and getting plastics out. It's a great bit of kit. It really does work well. We get our base on, flick across the earth strap, open up our radio box, let's get the old microphone out. Rubbish bag, rubbish bag. Right. Get rid of our microphone clip, we're not going to use that. We're just going to have the little foot and the sticky pad. Through the headliner, out the headliner. This thing has had a windscreen replaced, and the reason why I know that is because the headliner's stuck to the windscreen where they've put too much mastic in it. So just gently break the seal so you can get the headliner down away from the rubber. That's just an inexperienced window fitter, that is. Lather the thing up way too much. Be mindful where you put your microphone cable out the back of this, because obviously we've got screws to go back in here. You don't want to run the thing straight into the microphone cable and trash what you've just fitted. Let me get our screws back in. They don't need to be too tight, you're not trying to sever this cable. This is a nice in-depth fitting for, because he loves the technical stuff. So this one's for you. Morning, by the way. And we get our little light in, and do our sticky pad in the bin. Get your microphone on there. Give it a good push. And don't pre yourself. And there's our mic done. And we need some tape. So we get our PVC tape. We start at the terminal ends, and then you join them together. Every 6 to 12 inches, little roll, little roll, little roll, all the way at the top. And we're basically working up into the corner of the A pillar, all the way up to there. Now why have you done that, Alex? Because now we've got this floppy bit of cable. The reason is, right, watch this. We're then going to locate the cable through the dash. So we go down through the A-pillar trim into the bottom of the glove box. You pull the cable across. right? And you go across the top of the glove box tray into the back of the radio. That is all we need there, right? And we're left with this excess. Now, because it's digital radio, most people work from here. They'll go down there and then the cable will sit in here or under the dash or next to an electronic equipment on its own. Shouldn't do that. If you get bad digital reception, it's because you've done that. The aerial cable is part of the aerial. So if you bundle it all down here, where it's next to electronic equipment, you ruin your reception. All of your cable should be stretched out and it should be fitted next to the aerial on the A-pillar where it's clear signal, right? You'll get better reception by doing this. So then you figure out all your excess cable, you sort of neaten it up into a little bundle which is going to sit here like this, and then you tape your excess. Don't coil it up, stretch it out. It's all right if it runs back and back and forth on itself, but don't bundle it up. Make sure it's all stretched out like this, right? Careful not to pull your ends through. So we're left with this, right? And what this will do is we'll do a better job than somebody's done here with the camera cable. But we're now going to stretch this out and tape this all the way along here so that the aerial is here. The majority of the aerial is on the A-pillar, where this is not stuck behind the dash of the radio, which is going to cause a problem. PVC tape holds little wire joiners like this together okay, but it doesn't bundle cable well. Over time, heat will get into this thing. If you've stretched it, heat will unstretch it and it will lose its stickiness, and this will all come undone like this cable has here, and it just falls apart. So what I do tend to use is tank tape. I don't like cable ties on this stuff. I like tank tape because it's kind of forgiving, but it stays sticky and the fibre in it keeps it taut. So we'll get our cables together. We'll freshen up their attempt as well. And we're basically tying all the stuff together in one location. Work from the top down. So all our cables are nice and neatly wrapped. One more on there. What you're being careful of is these buttons here where the A-pillar trim is going to go back into. Don't cover those up, you don't obstruct them. Alright, so there's our cable all nice and neat. Then this tab has to go under this vent. And that's your digital aerial fitted properly, and your microphone. Next we're going to pull out our Pioneer. Now with this one we are going to use the aerial booster for the VW because it needs a booster. Your rubbish out of the vehicle. God, I'm so gassy this morning. Right, this one is having the 100mm cage, not the 110mm cage. So with this, we'll put our fixings aside. We'll get our Pioneer tab into the back of the radio, and now we're going to remove the standard cage. So we'll get a security key, pop the radio up, get the tabs up, slide the cage out. That is going to go back in the customer's box, as well as his fascia trim. We don't need that either. Peel off the protective sticky. Swear at Pioneer for sticking on a label on the front of the glass, and we'll have to clean off the sticky residue again. Stop doing it, Pioneer. So we've got our Pioneer radio. We get out our VW lube. Now this one is going to give us CAN bus ignition turn on, but we aren't going to use the steering controls because there are none on the car. So we pop in our CAN bus box in the bin. We need our Facra aerial booster, which is this one, in the bin. Work tidily. Get our crimpers and our cutters. We don't need all this blue length, so we're going to go about 2/3 of the way down it in the bin. Cut off the end and get our little bullet connector, which I already got out of the box. Roll up the end so it's nice and neat. Don't try and put anything on a frayed edge, you'll never get the crimp that you want. Put your crimp on, crimp 1/2 of the bullet. This is now on an ISO, so that can be plugged into the Pioneer power speakers. Now on your Pioneer harness, remember this little blue wire here. So we're going to go halfway, well not halfway, a little bit off, obviously for the crimp, and then we're going to attach the bullet from the Facra aerial booster in the other half, and we're going to crimp that. So we're kind of making a little ready-made loom ready to go. And then we'll put that on there. So on the Pioneer plug, I've now got my little loom, aerial power ISO quad. And we've got our fascia kit. We don't need the steering control adapters on this one. We have our VW fascia surround, and we have the fascia cover. Because this uses the 100mm cage, we get this fascia, and actually I think it looks a lot neater because it butts straight up to the radio space, as opposed to some of them that sit around the edges, and then you add a trim ring as well. It just makes the front look a bit busy, whereas this is more like a cleaner look. So we're not going to be using this plastic trim ring that some of the cages or some of the fascias require you to have, because this fascia sits right up to the radio. It's a lot neater. So we're going to bin that off because we don't need that. Sticky pads, I hold on to them because they're useful. We get out a 100mm cage. First thing we're going to do is get this piece, put it in the radio fascia, push it all the way in. Fold out your tabs on the side. There's only 4 that need to happen. It's the 2 base ones, left and right. The bottom ones, left and right, and the top 2 outers, left and right. You don't need to fold out every one. They aren't going to grip onto anything, they'll just get in the way of the radio being fitted in. Now, we'll put that to one side. We're going to get out our millimeter adjustments. Now these come with machine screws, which we're not going to use, so we don't need them. We just need the adjusting plates and the side brackets. They can go in the bin. Where did that screw go that we dropped? There it is. That go in the bin. So what we're looking to achieve is we have these holes and this adjustment foot with a tab that goes in these slots. So what you're going to look for is something like that, and then your screw holes through here. So as we look at the side of the radio, we know that it has this collar around the radio here. This is where we want this tooth to sit on this collar here. So you make your adjustments where you're going to sit properly onto that tooth and the bracket behind it, which will be about one more. That's going to sit nice and neatly there. Get one of our coarse thread screws, stick them in the hole, flip it over, same again on the other side, marry up your plate where you want it to sit, one more. So the nice thing about this is you get millimeter adjustment, so you can make your fascia sit in and out perfectly every time. Same with this one. Don't like the way that screw's gone in, so we're just going to try and reseat that in a better fashion. And we got our radio and our loom. We got our cage because we're all set up. Everything through the hole. Radio goes in the right way up. Clicks in. Then you get your fascia. That's going to click around the front of the radio. And if you've done it right, it'll look like that.
Slap it, boss.
Now, because we've got everything already pre-wired, get rid of the rubbish in the tools. Get your box in the back out of the way. If you put that there, let's cut that off. So we have a random wire from the car kit. I'm guessing they've tried to plumb in an ignition and done it badly. So we'll get rid of that because we don't need any of that shit. Cover up the wire, terminal, because we don't want that. It's probably going to be live with ignition, so we don't want that shorting out on something. Give that a nice tape up so it's safe. And then quad lock, plug it in, aerial harness, Facra end, plug it in, DIN end, plug it in, DAB, plug it in, microphone, plug it in, then take your connections, put them in the back of the radio hole where they're kind of tucked out of the way and they're not going to cause any other issues. On some vehicles you need to be careful where kind of like the remote shift is for the gear stick, because if you put your box too low you can start interfering with the car's gear change, so it's something to bear in mind. Keep going until you get all the plugs where you want them to be. Out of the way, which is there. Now at this section, our airbag, nope, sorry, our traction control even, where's this guy's airbag then? It's usually in that one there, but it's missing. It's got SRS, weird, okay, usually it has an airbag sense. Where's that moved to then? Am I missing the point? Maybe it's here. So at that point, obviously the radio's in, it's not screwed in yet. We're going to do a little test, make sure everything's good. So our key on the dash, ignition in, wipers off. There we go, so the radio comes on. Language, bugger off wipers. Right, language English. The time is AM, not PM. 9:21. FM step 100 Hz, DAB power antenna, speaker mode standard, yes, 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 and then it will do a tune for DAB radio stations. So we have a microphone here, DAB aerial there, our fascia kit ready to be screwed in.
Then when he doesn't, that's quite a skill in itself.
And there's our dash, done. So now we can put all these parts back together. Obviously our cables are done, nice and neatly, everything's all tucked in. So if we wanted to store absolute ATs, press and hold. There we go. Now the illumination on this vehicle is white and red. So we'll go main menu, illumination, color, key color. Let's do red on the key color, and let's do display color, white. Here we go. Back up, back up.
They looked at us, and worse than a fine, they just went.
Ignition off. Radio goes to sleep. And that's a proper install. What's up guys, how are we? You all good? Yeah. Just clean up that lens, it looks a bit grubby. There we go. So what have I been doing? So the turbos are all stripped off. These are going back to Turbo Technics. I've just phoned them and basically said we've got a lot of oil passing one of the turbos, so they're going to redo them for me. This head is now stripped apart, all the stuff's off of it, so I can start looking into replacement parts, getting these over and getting them checked. Block is now spun over and the other hand is off, and everything fortunately in here is still turning as it needs to, which is always a relief. Looks nice, but we're just missing one of them. But the crank fortunately is not showing any signs of any damage, which is probably luck, other than a little scrape here, but I don't think that's going to matter too much, but it's coming apart anyway. But yeah, bless it. So yeah, so I am kind of plugging on with my new little setup. That's coming well handy today. Get this slowly taken apart, get everything kind of bagged up, all the little parts. And then basically start cleaning. I did have, this is my oil pressure relief valve. I did have a quick look at this, because obviously as soon as you start sucking up shit through the filters, this gets marked and scratched, and actually there's no wear on it, and it's lovely and soft still. So that's a relief. Oil relief. Here all week. Let's see, my phone's going mental. Is it me old mate Mike? Awesome. He has a left-hand manifold for me, because I just noticed as I'm stripping down the turbos, look at the fucking state of that. See that crack? And it even runs all the way through here too. So yeah, it just cracks all the way up there and all the way up there. The joys of shitty cast manifolds, but unfortunately that's what they come with. There's not a lot I can do about that. But I can get replacements from the old bud, so happy days. I'd love to put tubular manifolds on this, but I did find out a price once, and I may need to sell a kidney. But we're not going to do that. It's late on in the day, it's nearly 6 o'clock. I'm going to shut up shop for today. I will, still raining, it's rained all day. Turn off the verdict. Busy day tomorrow, busy day at the weekend. I will keep you informed as we mosey along. But I'm going to knock it on the head for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're not already. There goes the phone. I'll see you soon. Bye.